After stepping down from his position as Springfield city manager in January, Gage is starting a new job in Tennessee. The city of Brentwood is hiring Gage as city manager. His position starts on April 28th. Gage worked as city manager for 6 years in Springfield. He led the city through the COVID-19 pandemic, and under his watch, the city saw a 30% drop in crime since 2020. In December, City Council appointed Colin Quigley as Springfield's interim city manager.